I recently uploaded a video on the disappearance of Shelley Miscavige, the leader of Scientology's wife, who vanished from the public eye 17 years ago, and there were a few comments comparing that to the ongoing situation regarding Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales. She hasn't been seen in public for almost 3 months now, the official story being that she's recovering from a planned abdominal surgery, but there's a lot that just doesn't add up. Considering everything gets blown out of proportion online and baseless theories spread like wildfire, I assumed this was just another situation where people were making a mountain out of a molehill. I wasn't even going to cover this, but some of the recent developments are actually very questionable, and while some of the theories are ridiculous, there are some pretty compelling and very concerning possibilities. Let's investigate. If you enjoy internet mysteries and generally disturbing content, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can become a Ko-fi member or a channel member to gain access to uncut videos and other perks, or you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks under this video. Thanks to anyone who considers this. This video will contain references to topics that some might find triggering, including suicide, EDs, and domestic abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. The theories discussed in this video were based on pure speculation. Please do not take them as facts. As someone who is generally opposed to the existence of a monarchy, I'm not particularly interested in the activities of the royal family and don't tend to follow the news regarding them. But what I do find fascinating is conspiracy theories, and there are countless related to the royal family, this being the most recent and the most compelling in quite some time. There's a lot of debate online about whether it's fair to speculate on certain things, particularly health matters, with some arguing that even the royal family have a right to some level of privacy, and others disagreeing, especially considering they cost the British taxpayer millions of pounds every year. Queen Elizabeth died in September 2022, leaving Charles to take over at the age of 73, the oldest person to succeed to the British throne. He recently announced a cancer diagnosis, leaving us to wonder how long he even has left on the throne. William is next in line, and with the current situation regarding his wife Kate, which could be a lot more serious than they're letting on, people are worried where this is going to leave the monarchy. William's son George is second in the line of succession, but he's only 10 years old, and Prince Harry already stepped down as a senior royal in 2020, before making various allegations that undoubtedly damaged the reputation of the royal family. Opposition to the monarchy seemed to reach an all-time high after the death of the Queen, and as of 2023, only around 60% of the British population were thought to support the monarchy to some extent, and most of those were over the age of 65. In a time where support is dwindling, many believe that the public has a right to know everything that could impact the future of the monarchy, and in turn, the country itself. It's also worth noting that while there are plenty of people who feed off the drama of situations like this, others are genuinely concerned. As I said, I don't support the monarchy, but that doesn't mean I want any harm to come to the individual members of the royal family. And as a human being with a normal level of empathy, I am genuinely hoping that Kate is okay. This situation is just getting more and more bizarre though. I'm starting to wonder if there is something suspicious going on and if people are right to be worried about Kate. Let's start with a timeline of events, then we'll get on to the theories. I've tried to be as comprehensive as possible, so not every event I'm about to mention may seem obviously relevant at first. Some will make more sense when we discuss the theories, and others allude to larger scale conspiracies that I don't have the time to cover in depth here, but you can easily find out more information online. On the 12th of September 2023, Kate was photographed with her index and middle finger bandaged together, an injury she claimed occurred while trampolining with her children. Perfectly reasonable explanation, and at the time nothing seemed amiss, but photos taken on the 5th of October, over 3 weeks later, showed her fingers still bandaged together. She hadn't said she'd broken her fingers or anything, and it seemed to be implied that it was a very minor injury. On the 22nd of December, Kate and William announced an official trip to Italy in early 2024. Christmas Day was the last time Kate and her 3 children were seen in public. They all seemed happy and healthy. 3 days later, an ambulance with police escort was seen leaving Sandringham, where the family spends Christmas every year. This was not officially reported in the UK media, nor did the royal family address it, but photos and videos emerged online documenting the event. It's worth noting that there seems to be some kind of unwritten relationship between the media and the royals. I'm not sure exactly how it works, and a lot of it is the subject of unproven speculation, but from what I gather, royals will cooperate with the media in exchange for favourable coverage, so it's possible that they managed to keep some events quiet, which could explain why the ambulance sighting wasn't officially reported on. Anyway, in early January 2024, various tabloids simultaneously began recirculating earlier reports that Kate and William have verbally and even physically aggressive arguments, claiming that they will throw things at each other and that William has tantrums when he doesn't get his own way. Interestingly, his brother Harry has claimed that William has physically assaulted him in the past, seemingly confirming that William does have a temper. On the 17th of January, Kensington Palace announced that Kate was in hospital and had undergone a planned abdominal surgery the day prior. The operation was apparently successful, but she was expected to remain in hospital for 10 to 14 days and was unlikely to return to her public duties until after Easter. The same day, Buckingham Palace announced that King Charles was set to attend hospital for treatment for an enlarged prostate the following week. William visited Kate the next day, and this is the first and last time he was known to have visited her in hospital. Charles also visited once on the 26th of January, and there are no reports of any other visits from Kate's family, including her parents, siblings, and children. This is very strange. Why wouldn't anyone else visit her, and why would her husband only visit once? It seems like they made it known that William and Charles went to make it look less suspicious, but even though they're busy people, you'd think they'd make a bit more time for her, even if the operation went well and she seemed to be making a full recovery. During this time, it was reported that Kate's inner circles were shocked to hear of her surgery and weren't aware of any health issues. If this was a planned operation, as the official statement claimed, why wouldn't those close to Kate be aware of it? Furthermore, why did Kate and William announce their plans to visit Italy in early 2024 if they knew she was scheduled for an operation that would take weeks or even months to recover from? On the 22nd of January, Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, was diagnosed with skin cancer a few months after her announcement that she had breast cancer. On the 26th of January, Charles was admitted to hospital for the treatment for the enlarged prostate. He remained in hospital for 3 nights. On the 28th of January, a Spanish journalist claimed that Kate was in an induced coma after surgery, citing unnamed sources. The next day, Kensington Palace announced that Kate had been discharged from hospital to continue recovering at home. Interesting timing right after the claims from the journalist. There were no photos of Kate leaving the hospital, which is surprising. If you were a photographer with little regard for privacy, as many of the paparazzi are, you'd probably make it your full-time job to camp outside that hospital waiting to get photos of Kate leaving. Not to mention the fact that Kate was photographed outside hospital within hours of giving birth to all 3 of her children. On the 1st of February, a spokesperson publicly refuted the coma rumour. This is unusual because the royals rarely ever comment on rumours, and out of all the bizarre theories that were already circulating at this point, I wonder why they chose to refute that one specifically. On the 5th of February, Buckingham Palace announced that Charles had been diagnosed with a form of cancer that was discovered during his recent prostate treatment. The type of cancer was not specified, and he was said to have started regular treatments. 2 days later, Prince Harry flew to London from LA to visit Charles in hospital for just 45 minutes. Camilla had visited Charles a few times too, but William isn't known to have visited his father even once, nor did he release a statement on the matter. On the 9th of February, the UK media began reporting that Kate was on the mend, that she had left Windsor to return to Sandringham, where she continued her recovery in the company of William, their children, and Charles. On the 13th, undated photos of Kate's sister Pippa emerged, showing her on holiday in a resort owned by her husband's family that she visits multiple times a year. Some people believe that these were old photos that had been released at this time to make it look like Kate was doing better than she actually was, because surely her sister wouldn't be jetting off on holiday if Kate was in a coma. On the 17th, Richard Eden, who works for the Daily Mail, shared photos of Kate and William apparently visiting a school they were considering for their son George. Richard eventually admitted that the school visit occurred 2 months prior, long before her alleged surgery had been reported. The next day, William attended the BAFTAs without Kate and was apparently seen associating with a number of young actresses, not looking like a man who was concerned for his wife's health. On the 20th of February, William released a statement on the social media account he shares with Kate regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with no mention of Kate. He used his solo monogram that he introduced years ago but has not used since he got married to Kate. On the 25th, Thomas Kingston, husband of the late Queen's second cousin, and ex-boyfriend of Kate's sister Pippa, was found dead in his home. The cause was later revealed to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 2 days later, William abruptly pulled out of a memorial ceremony for his late godfather, the former King of Greece, with a spokesperson stating that it's, quote, due to a personal matter not related to the health of his father, King Charles. The next day, the hashtag #WhereIsKateMiddleton began trending on social media. At the beginning of March, reports suggested that Prince Andrew was now leading the royal family. The same Prince Andrew that was pals with Jeffrey Epstein and has basically been outed as a nonce, allegedly. One royal watcher claimed that there was nothing suspicious about this, despite the fact that he is 8th in line to the throne, and there have been no official announcements that would explain William's apparent inability to take over while his father is receiving cancer treatment. On the 4th of March, a photo emerged of Kate being driven around by her mum near Windsor Castle, but many have pointed out that the woman in the passenger seat doesn't look like Kate. She's wearing sunglasses and the photo isn't particularly clear, so it's hard to tell for sure, but her face shape looks different and she appears to be missing a mole above her lip. I personally think the woman in the photo looks a lot more like Pippa than Kate. Already, recent events are bizarre and very questionable, but the 10th of March was where things really started to get crazy in my opinion. Kate and William's joint Instagram account posted a photo of Kate with her 3 children, captioned, "Thank you for your kind wishes and continued support over the last 2 months. Wishing everyone a happy Mother's Day. See." So this is great. We finally have photographic proof that Kate is alive and well, right? Not exactly. Online sleuths quickly noticed a number of concerning details in this image. First of all, that Kate wasn't wearing her wedding ring, but more importantly, the photo was just off. From inconsistencies with the clothing to blurred areas, basically it looked blatantly obvious that the image had been photoshopped. If you've been living under a rock and haven't seen this photo, you might think this is another instance of conspiracy theorists clutching at straws to sensationalize the situation and create dubious evidence to back up their wild stories, but turns out it isn't. Less than 12 months after the Instagram post, photo and news agencies, including the Associated Press, Getty Images, Reuters, and the AFP, began removing the photo from their press libraries, citing concerns about manipulation. The Associated Press issued a kill notice stating, quote, "Clients, please be advised that the following story has been killed and should no longer be used. The reason for killing the story: at closer inspection, it appears that the source has manipulated the image. No replacement photo will be sent." Bear in mind this was not some random paparazzi photo. This was posted on Kate and William's official Instagram page. The source that has manipulated the image is members or associates of the royal family itself, and they were refusing to publish the original unedited photo. Shortly after this, there was a post on the Kensington Royal Twitter account, apparently by Kate, quote, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Mother's Day. See." So I guess there's nothing to worry about then. Turns out the only official photo of Kate that has been released since she vanished nearly 3 months ago has been badly photoshopped, and Kate, suddenly an amateur photographer, has taken responsibility for it. But really, this is ridiculous. Why would she even edit the photo in the first place? Aside from minor retouching, what reason would there be to edit the photo to an extent that even someone with no knowledge of Photoshop can clearly tell? Online sleuths have proposed some pretty crazy theories. One suggested that the photo was actually taken in November 2023 because the outfits that Kate and the children are wearing are almost exactly the same as the outfits they were pictured wearing one day in that month, apart from Kate's jumper being a different colour and other minor differences that would be pretty easy to edit. Someone else noted that in this photo, Kate's face looks to be exactly the same as in a photo that was used for a Vogue cover in 2016. They even overlaid the Vogue photo and it appears to be a perfect match. Whether this was an old photo or it's been created from various other photos, I don't know, but I highly doubt it was taken since Kate's operation, which seems to imply that she isn't well enough to pose for a real photo. So what are the royal family trying to hide here? Obviously no one but the family knows for sure what's going on, but there are enough questionable details surrounding the official story to cast doubt on it. The theories I'm about to cover are just theories, not facts. It's all just speculation based on a small amount of information, so take them all with a pinch of salt. Most abdominal surgeries don't take months to recover from, bearing in mind it has been unofficially reported that her recovery may now take 9 months as opposed to the initial 3. Now it's possible that it may take months for a full recovery. It makes sense that she wouldn't go straight back to her duties right after the surgery, but Kate is a working royal. You'd think she'd have made some kind of public appearance since, if whatever she's recovering from isn't that serious, as has been implied. Also bear in mind that they had Kate out and about for photo ops literally hours after she gave birth to each child. She was even wearing heels, so one would assume at the very least that the surgery, if it ever even happened, was due to something much more serious. For reasons already mentioned, it also seems unlikely that it was planned, unless they're using the word planned in a very loose way, for example that it was planned a couple of days before. It's perhaps strange in itself that they haven't specified what the surgery was for. The public was told about Charles's surgery for his enlarged prostate, and it was revealed that Sarah Ferguson had breast cancer and more recently skin cancer, yet we don't know what problem or illness Kate has, just that she supposedly had planned abdominal surgery. Granted, the specific type of cancer that Charles is suffering with hasn't been revealed, but there's a bunch of other theories related to that I don't even have time to cover here. One being that they've been deliberately vague about that, with hopes that people would focus on speculating about Charles and the eye would be taken off Kate. It's possible that whatever illness Kate is suffering with is not life-threatening, or at least that she's not likely to die from it, but that it has significantly changed her physical appearance. Part of me wonders if the royals would miss an opportunity to connect with the public through this. A senior member being diagnosed with a serious condition could make them appear more relatable. Then again, if she looks really ill, that could just create more concern about the future of the monarchy. Not to mention that her appearance would probably be gossiped about in the media and may lead to even more rumours and speculation. This could explain the photoshopped image and the photo of the woman in the car with her mum, who is supposedly Kate. Maybe it is her, but she looks different because she's ill. The problem with this theory, considering the surgery was supposedly planned and therefore related to a condition they must have been aware of in advance, is that she looked fine on Christmas Day, the last time she was confirmed to have been seen in public. It seems unlikely that a long-term condition could so drastically change her appearance in such a short space of time that they won't even release a current photo of her. It seems that something happened between the 25th and the 28th of December when the ambulance with the police escort was seen leaving Sandringham. Apart from Charles, no other family members are known to have been ill, so it's unlikely the ambulance was called for anyone but Kate, but the fact that no statement was released about this suggests that the royals didn't want anyone knowing about it. If this is the case, it's likely that Kate was actually admitted to hospital on the 28th of December, but it wasn't publicly announced until almost 3 weeks later. While she was in hospital, her husband visited once, as did Charles. Why did no one else go? Perhaps because they weren't allowed, or maybe whatever state she was in would be too distressing for her children to see. On the note of the children, it's interesting that they also haven't been seen in public since Christmas Day. At least there are no photos or confirmed sightings. Maybe they're being kept away from the public in case they reveal something that's not consistent with the official story. There is no evidence backing up the Spanish journalist's claim that Kate was in an induced coma, but it would make a lot more sense than the official story. Could something have happened on the 28th of December, a sudden illness or something else, that meant Kate had to be rushed to hospital and put in an induced coma since? There are a million possible medical reasons for this. Speculating would be a stab in the dark, but any of them would again imply that Kate is likely in a much worse state than the official statements suggest. There has been some speculation that Kate may have been suffering with an ED for quite some time, with some believing she is underweight and looked unhealthy even before any of this. Leading on from this, it has been suggested that this hypothetical ED resulted in a medical emergency occurring on the 28th. I'm not a doctor, but I don't personally think she looks noticeably underweight. She is very slim, but I don't think she looks particularly unhealthy. There doesn't seem to be any valid reasons behind this speculation beyond people just saying that she looks underweight. It seems to come from arguably insensitive and judgmental gossip rather than a genuine and valid concern for Kate's well-being. Anyway, induced coma theory aside, there are a few alternative theories regarding what could have happened on the 28th, and they're all pretty dark. One of which is that Kate attempted to or succeeded in taking her own life. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this either for obvious reasons, but considering the royal family's alleged record of concealing mental health problems and discouraging members from seeking professional help, it makes sense that if the Princess of Wales and future Queen of England was dull, they probably wouldn't want the public to know and would cover it up in any way possible. I personally doubt Kate is actually dead, through her own choice or otherwise. She's supposed to return to her duties after Easter, and I don't know why they'd say that if they knew there was no chance of that happening, unless they're just trying to buy time to come up with a better explanation. Another possible theory is that Kate and William got into a fight on the 28th of December and that he assaulted her pretty badly, hence the ambulance was called and hence she hasn't been seen since. Obviously I hope this isn't the case, but I think it makes a lot more sense than some of the other theories. The couple allegedly got into quite heated arguments, with some reports of things getting physical, and Prince Harry claimed he had been assaulted by William in the past, which, if true, suggests that William may have a tendency to become physically violent. Some have suggested that Kate's finger injury was actually caused by William, but of course there's no way to know for sure. If Kate suffered a traumatic brain injury, for example, that's one possible reason for her being in an induced coma. It may also explain why William only went to visit her once, and why her children don't appear to have visited at all. Perhaps her family are none the wiser too, and the royals have discouraged them from visiting her. Whether she was in a critical state as a result of their hypothetical assault or not, maybe the royals thought it was a good idea to keep her out of the public eye until they could come to some kind of agreement that would ensure she wouldn't reveal what had actually happened, and while the potential visible bruises faded. It's also interesting that there are no reports of William visiting Charles in hospital after his operation and cancer treatment, as Harry did, and it makes me wonder if they're on bad terms, which they likely would be if he had assaulted Kate. On the surface, Kate and William seem like a happily enough married couple, but in addition to claims of violence, there have also been rumours for quite some time that William is or was having an affair, or more than one affair. The most popular theory is that William had an affair with Rose Hanbury, who was once Kate's best friend. There's basically nothing in terms of actual evidence to back this up, but those who believe it say the rumour had to have come from somewhere, and there's no smoke without fire. William's father, Charles, famously had an affair with Camilla, his current wife, while he was married to Diana, who died in 1997 due to a fatal car crash, apparently. Perhaps William followed in his father's footsteps and decided he wanted to leave Kate for Rose, or whoever else he may have been having an affair with. Maybe this all came to a head around Christmas, and either the news of divorce drove Kate to a breakdown, or the planned surgery story was totally fabricated to explain Kate's absence while the couple figure out how they're going to reveal this shocking news to the public. Alternatively, maybe Kate wants to divorce William. That would probably be even worse for the royal family, especially if she had a valid reason to do so. Kate seems to be quite a bit more popular than William among the general public. They like Kate and Wills, not just Wills, so I can see their popularity going down even further if Kate decided to dip. Another theory, which is much lighter than the rest, so I really hope this is the case, is that there really isn't anything suspicious happening, but that the royals are deliberately making the situation seem questionable for publicity. The saying, all publicity is good publicity, doesn't necessarily apply to the royals in general. They're not just celebrities, they're at least partially funded by taxpayers' money, so they need a decent level of support from the public. If the entire British population opposed the monarchy, surely it couldn't continue to exist. This is obviously why they go to great lengths to conceal any scandals and maintain a squeaky clean image, not necessarily successfully in all cases. This Kate situation isn't exactly helping their reputation right now, but if Kate does end up returning to her duties after Easter and everything seems fine with her, then all's well that ends well regarding their image. The benefit though is that they got everyone absolutely obsessed with speculating and theorising on what could happen, particularly younger people. I said myself, I generally oppose the monarchy and I'm not interested in most of their activities, but my interest is piqued when there's a scandal unfolding, and I'm clearly not the only one. Speculation and conspiracy theories regarding Kate have flooded TikTok and other social media recently. Many people around my age and younger don't support the monarchy because the idea of having a king or queen in 2024 just seems backwards. There's nothing the royals can do to change our opinion on that, but they could probably get some younger people to maybe not support them, but at least not be as opposed to them if they're serving as entertainment like this. It might not have even been their plan from the off, but they just decided to roll with it. If the official story is true, surely they could provide solid proof of it, but maybe they think it's better not to at this point, and allow the theories to run wild for publicity. And then after Easter, Kate returns, she's totally fine, but there's now a lot more interest in the royals in general. Among the more plausible theories mentioned in this video, there are some absolutely ridiculous ones, from Kate recovering from BBL surgery to her being abducted by aliens, which obviously aren't even worth covering here. All of this is just speculation though, and I really don't know what to think. I don't personally believe the official story. At the very least, I think there's more to it. There are just far too many strange details at this point, and given everything else that's happened recently, from Charles's cancer diagnosis to Thomas Kingston's death, not to mention the various scandals that have surrounded the family for years, it does make you wonder if there's something bigger going on, and if at least parts of this have been orchestrated as a distraction or something. Anyway, regarding Kate specifically, speculation should not be about exposing her medical problems or any other personal issues she may be having purely for the sake of gossip. It should be about exposing any potential shadiness of the royal family in general. If Kate is suffering with something much worse than they claimed, if she is incapacitated for whatever reason, it's being covered up. And if that's the case, I think people are right to be concerned. Of course, it's possible that Kate herself wanted to create a cover story because she didn't want the public knowing what's really going on, but there are also a million other possible reasons beyond her control that could explain this. And if it is beyond her control, it seems that she's potentially being used as a scapegoat. Remember the badly photoshopped image that she took responsibility for, even though there's no logical reason she would have edited it herself. We don't even know if she wrote that post. The official statements claimed that Kate is expected to return to her public duties after Easter. That's just over 2 weeks away, so I guess all we can do now is wait and see what happens. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments, plus any suggestions you might have for a future video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Huge thank you to my Ko-fi members and channel members whose names are on screen now. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in a new video.